The story of Eiyuden Chronicles starts you off as a scavenger hunter named CJ who's on the hunt for a rune lens that her clan has tasked the mission to find. On her journey, she then reaches a town called New Nivea, I think I said it right, which is in a state of rubble due to the recent earthquakes that have happened there. While here, she meets the acting mayor who says she needs an explorer's license to reach the quarry, which is where the rune lens is, or supposed to be anyway. CJ is then tasked to help the townsfolk rebuild the town to collect stamps for her to obtain the explorer's license to explore the quarry, as she doesn't have the 100,000 currency in the game to pay it off. Now, this game is more of a town building RPG game, which is similar to like Chronicles if you've played that before, because they also had like town building there, although that was slightly different. Rebuilding the town consists of us basically doing side quests, which can be either looked from the bulletin board or when you're just randomly running around in the town and you might see someone with like an exclamation mark on their head or something, you know, the usual stuff. I'll explain more in a bit, but basically from what I played from the preview, the story is somewhat engaging, though early on, of course, it's usually going to be slow a bit, but it does start to build up a bit later on down the line, and of course when it starts to get slightly good, that's when the preview ended, and I was just like, yeah, of course, the typical stuff that happened here. Now, with all that out of the way, the side quests in the game, most of the side quests usually just send you out to dungeons to collect materials or talk to other people in the town to like gain an idea on like what's the easiest way to like make money. That was like the side quest in the game actually. In doing this, you basically open up new shops for us, as in like the characters itself, basically to upgrade their weapons, their armor, create some accessories that can help them as well, create tools that can help them within dungeons, so like a fishing rod or trap, or just even like potions, an inn, literally all types of stuff. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be more later down the line in the game as well. Now, the dungeons in the game, or I should say in the preview that I was playing, were limited to two areas, which are the Great Forest and the Quarry, each with their own bosses. Now, as for the design layout of these dungeons, again, it's pretty much similar to another game called Indivisible, whereas there are like multiple routes in these dungeons, which obviously allow you to access different areas. But of course, you can't always go to all of them straight away. You always need to come back later on in the game or something, which, you know, is to be expected, obviously, but, you know, sometimes it does get a bit annoying. So yeah, if you're trying to do 100%, you're most likely going to be coming back and forth to all these areas. Now, of course, to make things easier, there are signposts within these dungeons which act as like a checkpoint or where you can save your game as well, which another point is, honestly, don't run autosave. Always save when you have the chance, because autosave doesn't really save as frequent from what I've seen. Also, the signposts act as a fast travel point, so within the dungeons, say if you want to reach a certain area, instead of you to run through it all over again, you can easily just fast travel to that point where you really need to go and then call it a day. Well, this kind of ties into my next point, as there's a thing called stock pack, basically a backpack in the game pretty much. We're currently limited to 50, and this basically allows you to like carry 50 materials that you find throughout the dungeon, but obviously when you reach the capacity, you can't pick anything else up. Now, honestly, I think 50 is too small for a starting point. I think it should have been like 100 in my opinion. However, I'm assuming when it comes to the full game, you'll be able to upgrade your pack to basically like store more materials when you're in these dungeons, because sometimes you'll be finding high rare materials which obviously you can't even pick up. And then if you fast travel out of the dungeon, which allows you to basically put it in a storeroom in a sense and go back in, that item's gone and you just basically like lost a good item. So, you know, hopefully when the game's out, that is like the case, else it will be honestly a very questionable design choice if they just limited it to 50 throughout the whole game. Now, if you have played Indivisible or Chronicles, then Eiyuden Chronicle Rising pretty much plays similar to both these titles, although those titles are more turn-based focus, while this is more action-oriented. Now, for the preview that I've played, you could only play as two characters, which are CJ and Garu, which is the kangaroo. CJ is basically a nimble character who can dash and evade her enemies, while Garu is more the hard-hitting character who can parry the enemy's incoming attacks. Combat in the game starts off pretty simple. With CJ, she has a 2-hit ground combo and then a 1-hit air combo, which can then obviously be upgraded, you know, to a 4-hit ground combo and a 2-hit air combo. along with a double jump which allows her to reach different areas in certain dungeons, while Garo in this preview build only had a 2-hit combo and a 1-hit air attack, but he also could be upgraded to get a parry move, which is like their unique skill. So CJ's one is to evade, Gary's one is basically to parry, and obviously this helps with like the big enemies in the game, especially with bosses as well. Now, of course, with these types of game, I'm expecting in the full game, that there's more attacks to choose from. Of course, we're getting another party member as well in the game, but that'll probably be later on down the line. Now, to get all these upgrades, you're basically going to have to do the side quest in the game, which I talked about earlier on, which is basically you going around collecting materials, and it allows you to open up new shops within the town. And obviously, apart from like weapons and armors, these will give you like more attributes as well and everything as well, making your life easier, the typical standard RPG stuff that happens in most games. Now, one other feature that they have for combat is called link attacks. Basically, the way these work is that when you're using a character, so for example CJ or whatever, any character pretty much, when doing attack, basically if you press the other party member's attack button at the right time, it switches to them and they deal like even more damage, like a semi-special attack kind of. This link can easily be done up to like 2-3 times. In the demo so far, I could only do it twice, so basically switch from one character to another and then that's it, and it's like on a semi cooldown for like a few seconds at most. But I'm assuming later down the line you can probably keep on linking it, with like upgrades and stuff, but that remains to be seen pretty much. Crafting is also another point in the game as well, which, to be expected in like a typical RPG type of game. Go find the materials, proceed to upgrade the item in question, the usual. So for this game, it's pretty much what I expected it when it was introduced. Of course, there'll be ways to upgrade your current items, as I've kind of more or less explained before, but these items are mainly used for like gathering materials. So for example, you have a pickaxe or a fishing rod, you can upgrade them to basically get better yields when going farming for these materials in the future. You also have accessories that can tie into this as well. So if you're trying to look for a high tier material something, then of course you want to try and upgrade it to be like the best that it is at that current time in the game you're at. Now, from what I've played from like previous game, I'm assuming some of these shops might be able to be upgraded even further to allow you to have more items. I don't know yet, we'll have to wait and see, or maybe there might be new shops that might pop up, but from what I've seen, it seems most of the shops are there already, unless there's like new parts to the town that haven't been unlocked yet, which I assume that's the case pretty much. And a quick note on the fishing, it's pretty bare bones in my opinion. It's like literally you go to a fishing spot, there's only one in the preview so far, but I'm assuming there's obviously going to be more later down the line. Go there, cast your rod, and then literally just press 2 buttons that appear on the screen, and you have to do it before the timer runs out, which is like forever. So it's there, but it's nothing special at all. Now, the difficulty in Eiyuden Chronicle Rising is pretty much non-existent, and I say this as they only offer 2 difficulty options, which are simple and normal mode, which basically, if you want to enjoy the game with no issues whatsoever, you obviously play on simple mode, as you literally just press 1 button to attack and it does everything, including the link attacks as well for you. Normal mode is obviously a bit more control in your hands, but again, difficulty wise, I don't really expect anyone to struggle with this game. And it's a bit of a shame, because sometimes I want these games to be somewhat challenging, but in this case it's like literally you can just steamroll through everything in the game, even the bosses that are there so far. Now, maybe down the line it might get harder, but from what I played in the preview, the game's not challenging whatsoever. So if they do decide to add in like a harder difficulty for the full game, then yeah, I would welcome that. If not, then I'll kind of be disappointed, because again, the game is just so easy at this point. It's ridiculous how easy it is. Though with that all said, if you're not upgrading your equipment, then yeah, you can semi-struggle, as you won't be dealing nearly enough damage and you'll be taking more damage as usual. But that's literally the standard for RPG types of games. So yeah, that's all I really have to say on difficulties. Now, with all that said, we've come to the end of the video. Overall, I'm really pleased with what I played so far for this game. There are some room for improvements for the game. For example, maybe the animations for the attacks and movement could have been a bit more stylish in a sense, you know, because it does look very bare bones in a sense, but maybe they done this just to save resources on the 100 Heroes game that's coming out next year, which seems to be like the main one, because this is more of like a side gig that they're doing pretty much. But you know, it would be nice for it to have a bit more style towards it, but I'm not too fussed on that. Mainly I'm just trying to see how the story goes pretty much, which is what most people tend to do for these games. But yeah, apart from that, you know, if you're really into like town building RPG games or even just RPG games in general, you know, I can easily recommend this game to you. I genuinely think it's probably like one of those hidden gem games that people will probably sleep on and actually enjoy if they actually do pick it up. Of course, a public demo would be really nice for most people so they can actually get a hands-on and a feel for the game, but we all know in this day and age that's not always the case. But yeah, honestly, I would definitely recommend people to try this game when it does come out this year. Or not even this year, this spring I should say. But yeah, just don't expect the game to be super challenging at this current time. We'll just have to see when the game comes out. But yeah, with all that said, I'm going to stop rambling right now. Once again, I want to say thank you to 505 Games for allowing me to try the game earlier on and allowing me to bring you this video. So if you've got any questions about the video or anything, you know, hit me up in the comments, Twitter. I'm always there to respond, and I'll see you guys later now.